sure that's racist, mate? In some way that's gotta be racist. Just saying.
Hello everybody and welcome to the leader reveals for Eastern Europe, which somehow includes Scandinavia. But don't hate the player, hate the game. Let's dive right in by taking a look at the Balkans, where a massive lineup of no less than 18 leaders entered the ring of democracy. But only one has emerged from this toughest of battlefields. Vlad from Valachian is sharpening his spikes as we speak. With the power of House Dracul behind him, he and his armies are an absolute destructive menace. They'll take everything from you and destroy your livelihood so much that you'll accept your fate willingly. Situated in the picturesque but creepy foothills of Valachian, Targovist is difficult to access while having great access itself. With mountains to the north and northwest and open corridors to both sides, traffic can be directed with big guns and sharp blades, and the potential of two seas is up for the taking. Refugees will hack incoming arrows out of the air with their superb reflexes, and will jury-rig whatever they need from the farm they destroyed last night to offset their losses. If one of these comes knocking at your door, he'll probably bash it in too. In horrible breeding experiments, that Count has managed to cross a church with a fortress, and the result is tough and terrifying enough to make approaching enemies tremble with fear. Is it the fear of God? Probably not. There are much darker things lurking in the corners of this realm. We move on to Scandinavia with its fjords and forests. 13 captivating figures faced off against each other here, but only 2 got to call themselves winners. Margrethe I is the lady in charge of the Kalmar Union, which, no, is unfortunately not a coalition of delicious pan-fried mollusk. With a Nordic crowns in her pocket, Margrethe makes sure her empire is always connected by way of sea, and her subjects show loyalty for the benefits that provides. It's always good to have your ships in order, and that's exactly how the Kalmar Union rolls. With a great central position on the sea, Copenhagen is not only a gateway to the Baltic, but also a swimming fortress, only it's on land. With the ability to exploit Scandinavia and land bridges on the horizon, this city is sure to become a crossroads of power. To protect her complex network of trade routes, Margrethe employs gunhogs that clip the coast so quick you can barely catch a glimpse of them. The strategic possibilities are nigh endless. A Kopstad is better than a market, because it's much more profitable as a trading hub, and a thing of beauty too. Sure, it might be a little expensive, but you can't go around expecting the good stuff to be free now, can you? But someone else is around Scandinavia, and his name is Erik the Red of Greenland. Who better to settle down in the cold than an explorer with a bloody bear on his banner? His life is documented in the Vinland sagas, and those are told exclusively by Walrus, which will come by Erik's settlements to tell these epic tales. They also make surprisingly effective accountants that will handle trade ships. Who knew? Greenland is beautiful in its own way, but for everything it is, it's certainly not green. Luckily, it's not the only door Erik can kick down for opportunities. Bratahild may be surrounded by ice and snow, but Northern Europe and the American East Coast on the southern tip of Baffin Island are begging to be colonised by a proper man. The Sea Steed is an early taxi of the seas. With an experienced crew, it can transport anyone, anywhere, at any time. Even when idle, these crews will find something to do by exploring the coastlines of strange lands. A meat hole! Now this is a place to my liking. You can put this anywhere, doesn't even matter. Everybody will love you. Even the walrus will come by, share some secrets of navigation. Ain't no party like a Disco Bay party. Central Europe was a battleground, I'll tell you that much. Out of 18 contenders, 1 has emerged victorious, so his points must have been quite compelling. Frederick, legendary Prussian commander, will set the world on fire. His troops walk in lockstep with a Königgrätzer Marsch, receiving the greatest military training anyone has ever seen. With complex doctrines and prestigious command schools, the Prussians take great pride in their soldiers. Located in its own little pocket of the Baltic Sea, Königsberg is the pride of Prussia, a faucet from which greatness will flow into the land. Hills and water are the only walls it needs, and the manpower of its elite troops too. The landwehr has had coordination drilled into it, and will find ways to work with other combat groups in the most effective way. Lucky is the landwehr that can work with another landwehr, because they both know how to play the teamwork game very well. Aside from an absolute metal name, the Death's Head Hussar packs an aura of imposing strength. There's always someone who turns tail when he shows up on the battlefield, and to even point your gun at him is scary. Don't want him chasing you down, do you? Because he will, and he can. Italy was actually quite okay. Or was it? No! 16 civilizations fought over the only spot on the cylinder's boot, and it was a tough fight. But who won? A pope. Really? Innocent III too. Yeah, I know a friend of yours, mate. Not sure you're particularly innocent, right? Deus Vult is the same thing I'd say when trying to justify my crusades. Only I can't, because I got excommunicated, because I did something you pricks didn't like. Yeah, Innocent is great at having others do the work of converting people for him. And to be fair, he's pretty solid at doing it himself. Everything is about religion for this bloke, seriously. Is Rome beautiful? No question, and it's situated very well in the Mediterranean. Maybe the Deus Vaulting will have to be done on paper for a while, but as soon as there's a solid Vatican navy, Deus is gonna vault on the seas of the Mediterranean. The Carroccio may know nothing about fortresses, but he's never skipped Sunday school, and he's a solid commander. While evangelizing, he'll hurt himself to save his soldiers, which I have to admit is a very admirable quality. But of course, the heretics need to be dealt with, right? And what better way to do that than setting up a courthouse run by zealots? Very effective for the Pope. Not a great time for anybody else though. Let's not forget that there's also a nation state to be found, and that brave little man is the Faroe Islands, with their tough and diligent Greenland raps. They know that on the high seas, you need quality above all else. And that is it for us today. The Eastern Europe leaders, which go further west than the Western Europe leaders, have been presented. I am Robert the Bruce, speaking to you from the submarine, hoping to see you again tomorrow. Until then, have a great day.